Let me tell you about a guy heroic as Peter Parker. He suffers more than a group of 7 martyrs. When it comes to storytelling, my mouth stays closed. But today I'll tell you about how our man called Jake rose to the top. And though he never had a great mindset for maths, yeah, he could barely ever find X. People would tell him that his music was atmospheric, but in his eyes it was always simple and generic. As time ticks by, he'd sit around and dream of colours. Thought he'd never be as good as his sisters or his brothers. With every glyph and word he writes, he gets quite scared that he may never wake from this great nightmare. Thought he had a high voice, thought he was oddly shaped like a pear mixed with Pemika. He'd get off his face and drinking drugs just because he needs release. He would break into stations, breach the police. He texts his mates, man, DW, it really DM. And they text back, you got arrested again. Oh, by the way, you really have to check this Vox. And he would reply, huh? What the X of Vox? They said it might shine just a slight puddle of light onto a shadow field, seemingly hopeless life. So as he worked, he travelled to the Far East, a grisly journey just like a best safari. Some people thought he was an Eastern angel, others thought that he really was quite demonic, but to him it was unclear who he was, like the guy who said that his name was above his comet. He'd call his friends and complain on the phone. They'd be like, hey, I don't want you to call up and moan at me. Don't lecture us, you worthless underachiever. You're a scallywag, a good for nothing diva. Well, I'm a good looking demon, spend a couple bucks, I might be able to get into the handsome devil's club. So with this new lease on life, he'd let him skate by, just let his thoughts soar, yeah, he'd let his brain fly. He'd think of fantasy worlds like Terlia. He'd think so much that it'd give him a hernia. He'd fall asleep drifting off to the radio. Sometimes it felt like he was falling in the stereo. He'd beat the competition, jump on them like Mario. You're just a little birdie, K, a tiny sparrow. These rhymes are spilling out as if they were BP. You will never understand how it feels to be me. My words can bring back the dead, yeah, they can rise graves. I work efficiently, yeah, I never time waste. I'm dangerous, spitting acid like a xenomorph. I scared the ground into moving, call it terraform. If you need some advice, come bring your engine here. I'll fix it up and make it better like an engineer. Known to attack from behind, you best defend your rear. You go out alone, it's obvious that your end is near. This song's been going on so long, I need a rest now. If you wanna take over, then come on up and get loud. So if you're sitting there and you're jamming out to this sound, get up, make sure you don't sit at home and don't loaf around.
Yeah.